RollerGames, an action roller skating game released in 1990 by Konami under the RollerGames label. What is RollerGames? Well, imagine, if you will, America in the 1980s. Inline skates haven't really taken off yet, but all the kids are on wheels, doing the hokey pokey, couple skate, skating backwards, and in many cases violently knocking the crap out of each other. What better time to televise the sport of roller derby? Roller derby is a full contact sport played by two teams of 5 members roller skating around a track. Points are scored when the jammer laps members of the opposing team. Both teams attempt to help out their jammer while trying to stop the other team's jammer. The sport goes back to the 1940s, and many teams still play it to this day. RollerGames was an attempt to bring roller derby into the mainstream. It was modernized with color commentary and play-by-play. In true 80s fashion, fictional storylines were added, making the whole experience akin to watching professional wrestling on roller skates. And that's not an exaggeration either.
Hey, that punk Valadares promised us a match race with the 3 of us, and if he's a man of his word, he very well will do that match race. Is that not correct?
Like I say, any time of the week, a handshake and a verbal agreement is as good as paper anywhere in these.
The show's ratings were excellent. They even beat out American Gladiators. However, it was only around for 1 season due to some of the producers going bankrupt. Short-lived as it was, there were still promotional tie-ins. A pinball machine by Williams, an arcade game by Konami, and this game for the NES. The arcade game followed the format of the show on a figure-8 track. The NES game, on the other hand, is a whole different beast. Here's the description from the back of the box. RollerGames, the 21st century's most popular thrill sport, right, is the latest victim of Viper, which stands for Vicious International Punks and Eternal Renegades. No, seriously, that's what it says. With their greedy eyes on RollerGames' mega prize money, they've corrupted 3 teams and kidnapped Emerson Skeeter Bankhead, the game's beloved commissioner. You and your own 3 teams of righteous skate kings must stop Viper's criminal venom from infecting the entire city, so you've got to take the fight to the streets. So, that's RollerGames. It's like Double Dragon on roller skates. At the beginning of each level, you choose your team. There's the T-Birds, represented by a man I assume is supposed to be muscular, but instead just looks like a fat guy. There's Hot Flash, represented by... is that Gem? That's truly outrageous. Finally, there's the Rockers, represented by Simon Belmont. Through the majority of RollerGames, you'll be jumping off ramps, avoiding pitfalls with mysterious gravitational pull, and punching people in the face. Occasionally the action will stop and your character will flex as if to say, "I'm bad," and a fight scene will start. During these fights, the feel of the control changes to a more traditional beat-em-up, and the skate element disappears entirely. The fight scenes play out nicely, and the skating scenes handle exactly as you'd expect them to. Big jumps require forward momentum, and too much momentum may send you flying to your death. It's really pretty fun, and there's something immensely satisfying about delivering a roller skate to the face. That's the good, and the bad can be summed up pretty simply. This game is hard. Controller throwing, television smashing, drop-kick the NES out the window hard. It's cheap, it's sadistic, it doesn't play nice. There are many surprise drops and points where momentum is required to make a big jump, but there's just not enough space to pull it off. If you miss, it's instant death, and it always means starting the entire section over again. In the end, it becomes a game of memorizing the entire level to know when and where you need to steer and jump, and sometimes even that doesn't help. And the story, well, we talked about the story, it's ridiculous. Imagine a Tony Hawk game where you get off your skateboard and beat people with it. That might be pretty awesome, actually. These road construction levels are well done with constant forward momentum, but what's with all the animals? Did a rescue truck break down up the road? What about these flamethrowers? Are icy bridges really that big of a problem? And here, there's no rhyme or reason to these oil spills. No matter what you do, you're screwed. And the oil goes back in the barrel. How does that work? This part of the game had me yelling profanities like some other game reviewers. Conveyor belts, flamethrowers, and spikes all around. And you have to do it all in one perfect run. This is like having your teeth pulled while someone repeatedly kicks you in the nuts. Up until this point it was hard, but I was still having fun. Then there's the bosses. 3 levels contain bosses based on real people, skaters for the evil teams in the RollerGames television show. The first boss flails around like an idiot and does an insane amount of damage. Personally, I'd be pretty mad if someone put me in the game with a character like this. Each boss has a silly little speech beforehand, and none of them really seem all that threatening, except this guy. This guy looks mean, and with good reason. Look at those skin flaps. His liposuction must have went horribly, horribly wrong. He must be after the RollerGames prize money for cosmetic surgery. Poor guy. And he will poke the hell out of your eyes. Even so, this guy has one of the most badass boss intros ever. Check it out. Let's wrap this up. RollerGames is frustratingly hard, at one point leaping straight past the point of fun and straight into the realm of pure hatred. You may be a more skilled gamer than I, or you might love games that unapologetically kick your ass. For you, this may be a great pickup, especially with a value under $2. For the rest of us though, this game is a 3 out of 5. At this price, why not?